Who lives here? Look a lot. Huh?
This one, or was it this one? Here we go. She doesn't have to travel. She. No 3.5 miles for that. Here we go. Good. Okay.
Okay, we are out of executive session at 8:35 PM.
Make the motion to come out of the exec session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. So after discussion, need a motion to be unopposed to stay the dates for the next process of,
I'd like to make a motion to be unopposed to motion,
yep, unopposed to motion.
unopposed to motion staying the special election. Is that right, Sarah?
That's right.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So with a further explanation of that process and process going forward with all the information we've acquired today, we'll turn it over to Sarah Frankenstein to explain essentially the same things we just explained and then talked about for a portion of today. So Sarah, it is up to you.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So as I alluded to before, if any of the members of the public have read the memo, that was the plan, that was what's required under the law as far as how to move forward with the petition. You'll see in your public packet, the petition has been presented to the city council. We presented it to the public in the public packet so you can see it yourself. Tonight was the night that we were going to set the date for the special election as well as some other deadlines. Because a lawsuit has been filed in Minnehaha Circuit Court asking the judge to stay, meaning push pause on setting the election date and having the election until the litigation has been resolved by the court. The city, as you just heard, is unopposed to that. We took that position earlier today. This is what always happens in a case like this. When you have a situation where the manner in which an election should move forward is in question and it's in front of a judge, you give the judge the time to issue his ruling so that we don't spend money and do things to have an election that the judge then determines should never have happened or should have happened in a different manner. So we did what's the norm and we were unopposed to that motion to stay the election, push pause until the court takes it up. Now, the court does have to expedite a hearing on this matter, meaning we don't have to wait for the glacial pace that sometimes our judiciary works in. Instead, the court does have to prioritize this case over others, expedite it, meaning make it go pretty fast. I think we'll hear pretty quickly as to when the court schedules a hearing on this, and it will move quickly. By statute, it has to. So we wait for further order of the court to determine whether the election moves forward because the petition was valid or not. If the court says the petition was not valid, we don't have to come back to a city council meeting in order to set a date for a special election because the petition asking for one isn't valid. If the court says it is valid, then we will come back, present the petition again, and have the city council select the appropriate special election date. If you read my memo, you can see that is very constrained by state statute. There's only certain dates that we can pick. If you read through that, you'll get a sense of what that will be like should the court find that the petition was valid, and we'll run through the same exercise next time around if the court says that's what we are to do. Are there any questions? I'm happy to take your questions. Please know that I work for the city, so I won't be giving anybody legal advice as to what they should do if they have some kind of interest in the lawsuit or interest in running for the position. But I will answer your questions as to what the city's requirements are under state statute, what will happen, what can happen with regard to the litigation, and take your questions at this time.
Sarah, could you comment on the nature of the lawsuit that Deborah McIsaac has filed today and explained that she is independently represented by her own personal counsel at her expense. And just state the grounds for that she is asserting, because I haven't seen any of the pleadings. All I saw was the order today, this afternoon. So could you just spend a little time on that?
I sure can. So Ms. Isaac's attorney followed the state statute that allows people to contest or challenge petitions. They did so under a narrow challenge allowance under our state statutes that allows them to claim that the top of the petition where the reasons for the recall is sought was not specific. So the allegations in the lawsuit are that the reasons as listed are too generic and need to have specific actual factual allegations. There's no briefing yet, so I can't tell you anything more other than that general challenge. That is the type of challenge that can be filed with the circuit court, can't be filed anywhere other than circuit court. So they're following the proper procedure. As John said, Ms. Isaac right now in this litigation is acting in her individual capacity. So anytime a city employee or city official, county employee, county official, state legislator, you name it, if they're acting in their individual capacity because they are fighting to preserve their title, their office, their job, they are acting in their own self-interest. So the example I like to give is when I get a call, let's say from, let's just pick a title, let's say it's the county auditor who calls me and asks me a question about what they should do in their office as county auditor, how they should do their various official duties. I, as their attorney, will give them that advice, no problem. The next day, that county auditor might call and say, Sarah, I think the county commission wants to fire me. What should I do? That's when I say, I actually represent the county commission, or I represent the county in whatever way the county acts through whatever people the county will act on this. And the county through the county commission might be looking at firing you. And I have to advise the county commission as to what's in the best interest of the county, because then the county auditor is seeking to preserve her job, her office, and she needs to go hire a separate attorney who doesn't have that conflict in advising somebody in two different aspects. So that's why it's appropriate for Ms. Isaac to have hired her own counsel at her own expense. That's appropriate. So we're not advising her. And in fact, you'll see that we are the adverse party to her, not that necessarily our interests are adverse, but we're certainly separate and distinct parties. Any other questions?
I think that's a good explanation. If anybody else has any questions at all. Yeah, it's just a part of the process from my understanding. So pretty well laid out, a lot of this documentation with the memo that she sent earlier. So
Sarah, is this circuit hearing one where people in support of Mayor McIsaac can attend, or is it something that's basically just the her and the parties and the judge?
Anyone can attend these hearings. They are open to the public. I don't want to dissuade you from coming. Anybody can go watch court sessions in progress unless it's a juvenile or sealed case, and this will not be. But just know you won't have any ability to speak. You would just be an observer. I do anticipate this type of action to be all legal argument made by the attorneys, citing to statute, citing to case law, very little that has to do with the facts. I don't think witnesses will take the stand. So if you want to sit and listen to some very academic arguments made by attorneys, you sure can attend. It's open to the public if you're interested in that kind of thing.
John, would
Yes.
it be a conflict if once you have that court date, it was posted on the city site
No,
for us to know?
no.
Thank you.
Come to the hearing on June 26th. I mean, it's your money. Or, you know, it's public proceedings, so you can come. I'll be there. I'll be sitting
We
in
would
the.
need to know when, that's why I
Sure.
was
Oh,
asking.
we'll keep you posted.
If that would be yet another iron in the fire for the people that are
Yeah,
calling for the recall.
yeah. Yes.
anybody else got any more questions? Council, public? Okay, I think that's a great, nice job explaining that, Sarah. I hope everybody's in full understanding of the process, so. A lot to digest in the last half day, so. With that, since we do not need to set an election date, we do not need to, set a date for the nominating petition is due. We'll move on to the July 4th celebration. You're back.
Okay, now we are on to 4th of July celebration 2023. If you look at your calendars, in July, the 4th of July is on a Tuesday. And then if you look at our ordinances, where is that at, guys? Here's the ordinances. Is it city ordinances for the 4th of July?
Well, I get this, sir.
Can I look for fireworks?
There we go.
Okay. 115. Fireworks. Is this every one of them?
Some license.
What's that?
Is there another spot for?
Scroll down, we should be able to.
I know there's one there for the 4th of July.
What's the question?
I believe the date typically is the 4th of July is when that's your only date permitted to shoot off fireworks. Generally, every year you play with the date, you figure out what dates are the most feasible.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what the conversation is about, to figure out what dates are suitable to permit lighting off fireworks. Some people, obviously, if it's up July 4th on a Monday, most people want the Sunday to do it.
There we go.
Third, fifth. Third.
Oh, maybe you just lost it. Oh, there it is.
So what happens is our ordinances regulate when we can shoot off fireworks for the 4th of July. Typically, it's on the 4th of July from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on July 4th. Now, the city council, we can approve July 3rd and July 5th to coincide with the July 4th weekend in recognition of the holiday when July 4th falls on a weekend or when it falls in the middle of the week, like it is right now. So, we just have to figure out what we want to do, guys. And the fact that we're getting it done early is fantastic. Good job. Because remember, we had to have a special meeting last year, if you guys recall.
Well, if I remember right, we'll probably have to have another meeting on it. Because some residents want to have a display.
Generally, they bring a permit to the next council, which you can shoot off on any day if you want, if you file for the correct permit to do so.
Right.
From the city standpoint, it's just proving which day we permit as a whole that everybody can shoot off, regardless if you have a permit or not. So obviously, logically, it makes sense to approve the 3rd because it falls on the Monday. It's
Just
really
for the 5th, the people are gonna have to work.
that'd be a safe assumption that that would be the case. Yep. So this is up and out. So I would make a motion to approve to shoot fireworks off on July 3rd as well as July 4th.
Was it end by 11?
Yep, still falls within the time constraints, so I will make that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Second.
So we have Travis. We have Ryan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Linda, do you have questions about how to get that done? Any questions about how you? No. Okay, then we are on to malt beverage. Oh, and then so can we also put a reminder for citizens to get permits if they want to early, so we don't have to have like a meeting 2 days before the 4th of July, please?
Permits, cleanup,
Yeah,
all the things that go along with it. I know, Mike, I see you hiding back there, rely on your opinion heavily. So as fire chief on when, if, I know 2 years ago, we had a very dry summer.
right.
I believe, I'm just reading the fireworks ban beneath it. If it is dry enough, basically we can determine
Right.
that
Yeah.
we scratched both the July 3rd and July 4th to shoot off fireworks. So
Right.
it's just a tidbit information. I don't know if anybody knew, so.
So maybe what we should do is announce what days you can do fireworks, and if you want to have fireworks outside of that day, please come to council next meeting and apply for a permit. So that way everything's above board.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of, there's 3, in fact, different groups that do fireworks displays, so we need to encourage them to come sooner rather than later. Okay, enough on fireworks. Malt beverage license renewal for Classic Corner. It's that time again. They just want to get the renewal. All the terms are the same. So,
That's all there is to it. I'll make a motion.
yeah, that's all it is.
Malt beverage
Yeah.
license renewal.
Right, Travis is the first.
Second.
Brian is the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Perfect, done and done.
Who's directed to sign the city?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Do you sign it?
Usually the mayor.
Oh, okay,
Well, it should be, the mayor should be directed to sign the city.
okay.
So you want
Adjust that, Travis.
Yeah. I'll make, yes, I will amend the motion to include mayor to sign on behalf of the city on the license renewal.
to, okay, and who seconded?
I did. Right.
Okay, Brian, you,
I'll second it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor
Yeah.
of the amended motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect, the amended is approved.
Last month, there was conversation regarding revenues that had not been collected. Is that going back on an agenda for future? Yeah, because nothing was determined on it. Yes, we're working on it.
They have to gather the information first.
It
Okay.
just was a follow-up of, general licensure. With a lot going on.
Yeah.
Mr. McGreevy.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, you should swear Brandon. I think it'd be a
You
nice.
should just swear it.
Nice photo.
I have more. Did you want to do more or?
Well, everybody technically under the law, the only requirement for Brian is to file an oath of office within 10 days of taking office, which is kind of today. But we've usually sworn in, we've usually done the physical swearing.
I
It's
say we
kind of
do it.
nice to do that.
For everyone?
Everybody else can.
Stare at Brian.
You could do the I state your name.
I state your.
Yeah, you solemnly swear blah, 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 the office.
I would do that.
You'd be sure, we should all, why don't you know, Linda? I think it'd be a good touch.
Well, I did planning and zoning and
Yeah,
council for Ryan and Travis.
okay,
Is that okay?
sure.
And then you can do yours.
You got mine too.
How about, can I make a suggestion?
Sure,
Can I go through all the appointments? Let's do the appointments and then let's do all the oaths at once.
you are the mayor.
That, I think that's gonna be a more efficient way to do this.
Go for it.
Okay, so we're gonna get to yours in just a minute, okay? So every regular meeting in May, we do the annual appointment of officers, and so I'm gonna start with planning and zoning. My recommendations for this year would be Ed Wilson as president, Debbie Murphy, who is existing on the council or on the committee. We still want to keep Nate Verchota, although he's kind of when he's able to attend because of health issues. Then I'd still like to recommend Ryan and Travis to be on the P and Z, but I would also like to add Jay Bowmiller Jay has 5 years of commercial construction, superintendent experience, 5 years of road maintenance construction, and 7 years of excavation experience. And so I think he would be an excellent addition to the P and Z committee and can definitely be present when we need it, as Nate will be in and out as he is available. So those are my recommendations for planning and zoning. Can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to nominate Ed Wilson as president, along with, members of planning and zoning as Deb Murphy, Nate Berchota, Ryan Sinding, Travis Shears, and adding Jay Bum.
Okay. And a second, all those in favor say aye. Okay, do we need to, attest that like we did last time, or is it different?
Well,
We had to ratify it?
And his oath. He can
Okay,
come in, he can pop in.
so they'll all just come in and sign their
Yeah,
oath. Will that ratify it though? Do we need to?
sure,
Okay, all right.
you bet.
And then, okay, on to council president.
I will continue to volunteer to be council president unless there's anybody else who sees that I'm not fit for that position, but I'll volunteer myself.
I'd like to throw Nikki's hat in the ring. That, seems how that she had the past council experience, lost a lot of historical down here. I like that she knows what had happened in the past. Plus, well, personally, just for me, she's been a great point of reference. So,
Is that a motion, Brian?
that's a motion. Nothing personal.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
So I have a first. From Brian. A second from Ryan. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Nothing personal, thank you.
Motion passes. On to vice president.
Do we have-
I should probably pull,
Okay,
That's a good idea.
I,
Cindy, Nikki Oyen,
Aye.
Brian McGreevy,
Aye.
Travis Hughes.
Nay,
Thank you.
thank you, Linda. Vice president.
I'd like to make a motion to, appoint Ryan Sinding as vice president.
Are you okay with that, Ryan?
yeah, yeah, I'll be fine with that.
I'll second.
I'm just waiting. I'm just sitting
Pretty
here
quiet. It's
Okay,
pretty
so
quiet.
we got a Nikki on the first and Brian on the second. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion passes. I would like to appoint Linda Hunnell as our finance officer. As long as she doesn't run away.
make a motion to approve Linda Hunnell the FO.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
Doing too good, we can't kick you out.
I'm
We're gonna keep her
not
here.
allowed to leave us.
I need a second.
I'll second myself.
Okay, I'm sorry, Nikki. I had a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion passes. Ryan Fods. I'd like to appoint Ryan Fods as maintenance supervisor.
I'd like to make a motion to make Ryan Potts stay as maintenance.
I will second.
Thanks, Travis. So the first and the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. City attorney, I'd like to make a motion to select John Hughes as city attorney.
I'll make,
I'm sorry, did I say I'm gonna make a motion? I would like to appoint John Hughes as city attorney.
like to make a motion to appoint John Hughes as city attorney.
Thanks, Nikki.
I will second.
Brian, got a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion passes. City engineer, I would like to make the recommendation of ISG being the city engineer,
I will make a
particularly Justin Hyman, just have to throw it in there. He's done an amazing job.
motion to approve ISG as the city engineer.
Thanks, Travis.
second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I would like to make the recommendation of First National Bank to continue to be our official depository.
Make that motion to approve.
Thank
Will
you,
second.
Travis, and then we got Ryan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then I would like to make the recommendation of Dell City Journal being the legal newspaper.
Question, motion, can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
No. Do we need an ad every week in that paper?
We don't have an ad in that paper. That's the shopper.
Okay, that's the shopper.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Dell City Journal is just a
Okay.
legal newspaper.
Dell City
used for our
Journal is the-
publications and
is
stuff.
the-
Okay, all right,
It would be that or it would be the Argus. Those are basically our choices.
okay.
The ones that got paid
Yeah,
to
I'll
buy.
make a motion to keep Dell's as our paper.
Okay, Ryan,
Second.
this is the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, now, because we've done all that, all of those of us that are here, I think we need to do our oath of office, right?
We did it. We just print you one.
Me? I got one right here. Oh,
It's only ever done, there was.
it's not
In
mine.
the past, we all- Well, I think just never, you have one on file, so.
I do it. I do have one on file.
And Nikki, you have one on file. And Ryan has one on file, just be Brian, right? Yeah.
It should just be Brian.
Because we don't need to renew, but P and Z
I'm
does.
gonna swear.
You need to do
I
it.
want you to-
You know?
I'm already on page.
Okay.
Stand up.
So anyone that has just been appointed in this list needs to sign an oath of office. So like Nikki needs, all the planning and zoning people do, Nikki needs to do it, BT needs to do it. Finance officer, you'll need to do it, supervisor needs to do it. John needs to do it,
Yeah.
Justin, you need to do it. We won't make the bank do it.
The mayor and the finance officer can swear people in.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of strange, but you can do it, Deborah.
How do I do that? I
You can
just,
swear others in, or Linda can do it.
You do it.
okay, what am I supposed to do? Just do this? Okay, so you guys need to stand up and put your right hand up or something like that.
Okay.
Okay,
You do the, I say your name.
I state your name. Have you been appointed the office of your choice
Have you been appointed to the office of city?
of the city of Baltic, South Dakota?
Of city of Baltic, South Dakota.
Do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of South Dakota,
And the Constitution of the State of South Dakota.
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully
Faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform all duties of my said office
perform all the duties of my state office
as provided by law.
as provided by law.
Further, I will render a true account
Further,
of all money, credit, accounts, and property
of all credit and credits, accounts, and
property
of any kind that may come into my possession
of any kind that may come into my possession
while performing my duties.
while performing my duties.
So help me God.
Just a signal all lines.
We have to sign it.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is set up for you to sign my oath.
I think I have to sign them all, don't I?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
you can sign them later.
I'm gonna put yours in black, Ryan,
Oh,
or
thanks.
black hole,
Black.
black hole.
Oh, no, you missed me.
Okay,
You're welcome there.
No.
I'm gonna get a pink sparkly marker and put it on yours.
Perfect.
Okay, Baltic Heights Park amenities. Where are we at, Seth?
So big thing on that is that we have some public feedback to provide that last meeting. It sounded like 2 basketball courts really looked in the direction of what we want to move forward with this year. So if we want to move forward with the basketball courts, we'll start getting design one on that, engaging contractors and try to get that constructed this year. You know, if we want to push everything back to next year, we can do that as well. If we just want to focus on the Frisbee golf course. So looking for some council feedback on that aspect, we want to prioritize quite a bit.
I think what we needed was some ballpark figures is what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas?
Ballpark figures on two basketball courts would be around $80,000. And again, on that, we would do multi-use basketball courts, pickleball court, as well as set it up for the ice skating rink pad for the winter.
Okay, so that's like a three for
Yeah.
80 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Well, splash pad is around 300K. Wow.
I thought it was less.
It's gonna be about 300K all said and done, and we're still vetting some of that. A lot of that's gonna come down to the equipment that we select for that too, right? So there's gonna be a little fluctuation in that. But just general sense, we're looking at splash pad that size, it's gonna be.
Maybe we need to talk about that because we were always thinking it was like 125 to 150. Is it
Yeah.
because of the
That
amenities?
was in current, right? So we can get that a little bit as well.
Because it's doubled in 2 years.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is on the splash pad, just the duration of construction would likely push it into next year.
Right.
I'm not saying we can't get it started this year, but that's one of those things we can get started. Start construction this year. That might wrap up for early spring, but then it'd be ready to be operational. During the summer months, right? That's always the tricky thing with the splash pad, the timing on the construction and the use of it, right?
Mhm. Okay,
Just on the basketball courts, what else done for that, for 80,000?
So they were looking about 40,000 a pop. That's gonna be your surfacing, your roofs, painting, any sort of netting, fencing, a little bit of parking lot.
We would have the fences.
Yep, yeah. There would probably be some efficiency, you know, if we try to look at breaking one down and doing the other next year, there'd likely be a lot of efficiency of doing both at once as well.
Mhm. Well, we were talking about doing like maybe 3-on-3 tournaments, so we'd want two courts if we're gonna do two courts, okay? And then what was the other things? Realigning or redesigning the golf course?
Yeah, first big off course would be, I'm gonna call it a minimal expense, right? Because it's simply moving baskets around, you
Mhm.
know, so that one. Roughly speaking, 10 to 15 on the high end,
Okay,
right? You know, we would likely lump that into one of those other projects
right,
while we have someone out there.
okay. And then as far as the playground jungle gym concept,
And so that one's still letting out a little bit because as we talked, playgrounds are expensive and the condition, what kind of condition would it be if we moved it? Don't want to give you guys a heart attack, but new playground equipment is very, very, very expensive. So that's where we'd be looking at some feedback from you guys and what we really want to focus in on, more playground equipment and the level. Because you can go from 0 to 100
right?
and try to figure out where we want to fit in between there.
Well, and it's also ages too. You could do like a toddler
Yeah.
one versus, you know,
Absolutely.
or like,
And that might roll into the other conversation a little further on as we start going through the capital improvement planning. If that isn't super pressing right now to get done this year, my recommendation is that we start looking at trying to put that into the capital improvement plan. 1 to 5 year where we're looking at all the city finances and get that in the budget. And that will generally tell where we can fit that, you know, what level
Mhm.
of playground we want, you know, and hopefully we can get somewhere in there where it meets the budget needs as well as the community and council needs. If it doesn't, then we can start looking at some fundraising opportunities to get to where we need with that as well.
do you have a question?
I've got a couple questions. Number one, what are we gonna do for security for that area? Because there's a lot of people in there late at night. Going around.
So we need
The park.
lights.
The lights are.
Well, there's lights, but they're not all working. Unless Todd's got the one.
Which ones? In the shelters
No, across from us. The light that's up there
up there?
in the parking lot.
It's not working. Okay.
No. But then also patrolling of it. Because there's nobody that patrols it. I've called it into the sheriff's department multiple times in the years.
That's good. to know. I don't know that.
So
What
I
about
think that's
what
something that
about
we need to
cameras?
look at, and also location. Not right on side road. Waken Road, up more by the ball diamonds,
Yeah, I agree.
especially for the playground.
I think that's what
area
we're
for little kids.
talking.
We'll have to show you the
To the
schematics
stuff of
that
the
you
ball
came up
field.
with.
That's fine. I mean, I'm just concerned.
Yes.
Yeah,
It would be.
Haven't been a grandparent up there It's a nightmare with the little kids running down there to play, throw it in, they're up there trying to watch a game.
It would be nice to be up there, walk that area, see the actual space to help visualize how each of these little moving parts are gonna fit in up there.
Well, and that's the plan that Justin had that we had put on the website. So it's there
But seeing
conceptually.
the plan and actually being on the physical ground and seeing it, that's like people thought everything was gonna be so wonderful with a couple recent placements up there, and now they're in place and they're not so wonderful because nobody went and looked and walked the land before they did.
That's a good point.
Well, lighting's always been an issue for the fields and for the paths
And for River Park,
and for River Park.
I mean, you talk to local law enforcement, they'll tell you if they've got a water warrant, that's one of the places they always check. Because of our people that hang out down there.
So what do you need from us?
I guess.
You said expensive on playground equipment. Is it more than 300K expensive on a splash? pad?
Well, it varies, you know, we're probably at that 100K on the low end, you know, we can easily get over 300K.
And their toddler is probably the high end for expense.
Again,
For the base.
it varies because there's a lot of that, you know, little older, playground equipment that's getting pretty intense, you know, it's not the stuff I had when I was younger or, really, not taking you Ryan, but the stuff you had.
Yeah.
I'm not the oldest that can say it.
Yes, he is.
And, you know, if it would help, we can get some concepts and visualizations on just a few
Please.
examples
Please.
of kind of those price points and those toddler age trains. We got some time to work through that and just make sure we're all on the same page.
I think what I'm hearing, you guys keep me honest here, is the basketball courts are the big thing, right? Getting those basketball courts in.
Fine, my splash park can go on the backside, Bruce. Greavy's courts.
Yes.
I want
You guys
the
got
courts.
it.
I want the courts.
To that point, though. Devin's advocate, the basketball courts are going to see action more months of the year. than
Yes, they are.
the splash park.
Absolutely.
Yes, they
They're
are.
looking at 3 months.
Well, and if you guys recall that national fitness thing that I had posted, that cost is $125,000 to the community. And it's from a fundraising, you know, sponsorship kind of standpoint, just to give you an idea of that too.
Justin, didn't you look into grants?
We're currently looking into some, so there was, you know, some of that,
And on that
It's-
line, can maybe part of the playground stuff go in now with grants and stuff, and then maybe 2 years, or a year from now, or 2 years, apply for additional grants and add additional pieces of equipment?
there's not a ton of grants sitting out there for some of this playground equipment, it's, you know, really an opportunistic item. Some fitness grants that come up and you can capitalize on them. There's not really those recurring, you know, grants every 2
Community
years.
playground grant.
You know, those ones that are out there, probably spread so thin where your chance of getting it every 2 years is going to be limited, right?
Well, and I know at one point when we were talking grants, there was a comment made that our city is too affluent for some of the grants that are out there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and here I am, Miss Dollar. But yeah, in all my years as a finance officer, one time we got a grant for a place set. One time, and we've applied all, every time.
It's a tricky gig.
It's just so hard to get the state grant.
So looking at it from dollars and cents wise, I mean, we're talking some serious change to make these improvements. I mean, just quick numbers of surpassing $500,000 is pretty easy.
Yes.
Entire project.
Yeah.
How does it fit in the budget? What's the budget look like to do things like this? You know, obviously with as many infrastructure projects coming down the horn, there's a lot of dollars that are gonna be spent just keeping things moving in the right direction, much less amenities. How do we budget for this much of expense? Do we have in their budget? Can it sustain it? You know, it's easy just to approve all this stuff to go in, but this dollar's gotta come from somewhere.
but
Just curious on that.
for CIP. Is that?
Yeah, and I made that comment.
Yeah, okay,
Glad
good.
Travis talk and, you know, in that manner, because that's exactly what it's been looked at.
Okay.
Right, and you know, there'll be, we'll have to make some decisions along that way. Where to invest that money, whether it's the critical infrastructure.
Right.
To keep Ryan's job, or, you know, that quality of life. You know, ideally, we find that have a medium split where we're taking care of both ends, pushing everything along.
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff and the layout stuff, I think I've had really good feedback from a lot of people. I think it's a lot of, a good updating that I think would go well with our city. I think it's, for me, it'd be wise to wait and do all with the capital improvement plan, bulk all that together to figure out what our necessities are. And then figure out the best way to go about it, as opposed to just approving anything now or next month after we get it. Hopefully we got feedback at the coffees with council.
Right, that's what I'm really hoping for.
I know I've got some good feedback already, the different options, likes, dislikes, things like that, so. Yeah, so I think,
So you guys wanna hold off and do a coffee, on Saturday and get some more feedback to Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're having coffee with council on Saturday. For those of you who wanna come here at the council,
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock to 11, is that what it is, 9 to 11? Come hang out with your councilman, it'll be fun.
share your opinions.
So, will there be like, we have to file a disclaimer then?
We're not making any decisions.
It'll have to be a meeting because we're all here, I would assume.
Well, we're not gonna make any decisions.
Yeah, you're not going.
But they're publicly advertising it, so, I mean, it's already being publicly displayed, it's already on the website as
You
an
don't have to do
event.
it officially, like you would, because it's gonna be.
It's not a call to order.
Yeah, it's just gonna be.
It's a normal meeting.
So from an open meeting, though, you have to make it aware,
A listening set.
yeah. You
I would
make,
just,
make
I
it
should know if you had that in mind.
Yeah, I don't know if you had to legally post it like you would a regular meeting.
it already is,
Because if that qualifies as legal meetings of this.
yep, it already is.
Yeah, obviously, that's good. Yeah, well, you all, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Pretty impressive council.
Oh, thanks. Have a good night, drive safe.
Oh.
Okay, so Justin, more to come.
Yep.
The next one, I just brought up infant swings specifically because this has been an ask from people since.
Okay.
And infant swings are, we got a couple of, they're like, you can go, you can swap out swings for $100 and have an infant swing like that. Otherwise, you can, so basically what I'm looking for is I need a ceiling on what they can have for infant swings, so that way Ryan can go find them. And like, these are $100.
Perfect.
These are $100. I don't know if that includes the chains or not. Here's 2,000, probably pass on that one. That's nice.
Fancy.
Yeah. And then there's
Yeah.
bucket seats, but this one has 24 to 47 months, 54-inch chain. It's $476. Stainless steel inserts. So I mean, it's all over the place.
I'm assuming it comes with the chain, it's those chains have
I know, I'm trying to find it, honey.
infant swings have to have special protection on their chains.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got a rubber thing.
Got it.
Otherwise, this all may break.
Where is it?
Oh, goodness. I've already lost it. In my
There was
pile.
one that was a top.
It's called.
Ah.
Thanks, Brian, I appreciate it.
This one's interesting because it's a toddler and a handicap swing.
That's nice.
And so, but it's $800. So,
Oh, wow.
So it's,
I think.
But it would give,
so I'm just wondering if we can get a couple where we already have swings, where we can just put it, maybe two, like one at the
Park.
Oak. Down on Oak, is there a place to put swings?
Gyms.
There's one thing's like a two thing kind of thing.
Bird Park, you do it and swing at Bird Park, because there's a lot of people that walk there. And then, I didn't know if the water tower made sense. Because there's swings there, and then that way people know where they are, so they can walk there. When they go for their walk, go for those.
How many swings are at heights?
Water tower park gets a lot of traffic.
There's no swings at Heights Park, so.
So then the other idea was to install it in the heights, but we would have to install a base and everything, and then you're looking like $1,200 for that.
But for looking at. Oh, yeah.
But it'd be two infant swings there, and it's like a T, I think is what I saw. It has a T and then you drop down and you have 2 infant swings. That runs about $1,200.
Spread it out between all the parks because
We have 7 parks.
it creates foot traffic. I
And
mean, don't keep putting
We have
things that
6,
high.
for sure.
We're gonna run out of space.
yeah, I'd throw a couple infant ones, one at Bird Park and one at Tower Park.
Yeah.
Something somewhere.
What we need is a ceiling, and then what I would recommend is tell us what we can spend, and then I'll put Ryan and Lacey and Linda on it to make the best decisions that,
I think you can spend up to, what, $1,500 without council approval? I mean, whatever you think is, I know we got, whatever the number.
250 should get you a rubber pile or something, it's strong.
Yeah.
I just say,
Order a couple.
use your judgment and order a couple and get a couple. I don't think we really need to approve anything. The conversation is good for sure. I don't think there's really an amount that needs to be approved.
it's just
You're held
something
underneath.
people have been asking for years.
Yeah.
So,
We'll look at them, facing dollars, because I know when the furniture is comes, just the class aren't the new standards.
Yeah.
Please,
Get stuff.
please do. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, dog days. Dog days is going to be, I met with the dog days committee. And they are in favor of dog days being absorbed by City Hall. So the dates I think are set for August 11th, 12th, and 13th. I went through with the committee, all the different pieces of it, so more information will be coming. Yep, it's already on our calendar. And so, there's gonna be more information about this, so if anyone's interested in participating or wants to know what they can do and what we need, please call City Hall as the central point of contact for now, and then we'll be getting you more information. So that was just kind of a, hey, we're gonna help take this on.
There's still anybody in the original committee that is still kind of in charge, or who I guess would be or City Hall in general.
There isn't necessarily someone in the committee that wants to be in charge, but they do want to help.
Right.
So we have a point of reference, and we have actually 2 points of reference, but they don't want to be in charge. They want to
Yep.
help. And so, we figured with everything being, based out of City Hall, it makes a little efficiency since we're open all the time and people can call with questions and
Right.
stuff. And so we're in the process of still, because it's a decentralized model. You know, every event is headed up by a different group. So we're just finding those people to replace the ones where there isn't. And then finding out if there's more that we want to do, or if we just, want to maintain it. Car show. I know Brian's interested.
Yeah.
You two should talk
Yeah.
about the car show.
Conversation, if you're interested,
Absolutely.
I've been fluctuating all the information.
Bring it up on Saturday too.
Yeah,
Because
well, I think we
Yeah.
should, and let's talk about that, because there should be like
Yeah.
sign-up sheets or something like that, so people can volunteer if they
Yeah.
want. Okay,
So as far as the contact person, if I have a question here at City Hall, do I talk to our community person, Lacey? or
at
who?
this point in time, yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then she and I will try to navigate that and find information for you. Okay,
Oh, I have information.
oh, perfect, good. Okay, so on to ash trees. I got a call from the state. Were you able to connect with him yet? Okay, so I got a call from the state about ash trees. So, they're gonna connect with Ryan. We're gonna talk about it. It's the emerald ash borer situation with ash trees, and they have identified Baltic as a potential risk location. So that information will be coming. It'll be neat. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up and have it in the minutes that we at least talked about it.
Got some rogue ash trees.
Yeah, there's some rogue ash trees. He said that, you don't want to take any down during the summer because that's when they fly. So it's more of something that would happen in the fall. If you have decent trees and you want them treated, you can get a professional tree person, and it's usually $12 or so per diameter inch. To treat the tree, save the tree. If you have trees that are too far gone, then it's a matter of removal. And-
multiple treatments. It's not just one and done, it's
Yeah.
multiple treatments.
And so, so Ryan's gonna have more information. I'll circle up with Ryan, and that's what's going on there. I just wanted it said. CIP committee. Ryan has already, Justin has already alluded to this. Justin, you had said you needed certain people on this committee. Would you go over that with me again? And then I have 2 citizens.
Yep, so
Okay.
really all we're looking at is a committee of state representatives to go through the process with us. So when we talked about, selecting the projects, prioritizing them, that's where we're gonna want your guys' input.
Or the city people you need.
who are the city people, so typically who's included, I mean, definitely want Ryan, I'm gonna volunteer Ryan for sure.
You got volunteer,
Would like at least one person from council.
who on council wants to do it?
I'm in the area, so I can put up with you, I guess.
He's just trying to sneak a splash pad.
You know, watch yourself, he's got
Yeah.
a splash
Just
pad.
gonna just take my.
Okay, so then one
Your
council,
involvement when
Okay.
needed, we'll have Linda and Lacey involved as well. too.
okay, and then I have two citizens.
Perfect.
One is Dick Adkins. That's gonna consider it. He wants to know more about the time, but actually both of them do. The other one is Todd Milani.
Okay.
And both of them want to understand really what's required, the time stuff, and then they'll be able to make a formal decision, but they have said, yes, I want more information.
Perfect.
So
If
thank you, Dick, for that.
Yeah, thanks. If you want to send me both contact information, I can grab yours, then I can send an email, just follow up.
That'd be great.
Just let them know the process and everything.
Okay, perfect. Public Works update.
Behind on
Yeah.
everybody.
It's your busy season. It's all good. We appreciate all you do.
Weather changed quickly and
Here we are.
Mowing,
And I got dry.
mowing's flipping along, no, now that we're dried out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get anybody interviewed?
two,
Two?
one was under 18, one was above 18. One that was 18,
Okay.
And they're going, they're chugging.
and then Linda and Hattie off.
Yeah. Anything else, Ryan?
No,
Okay.
not unless you guys have them from here. I got about 3/4 of the street sweeping done, but ball fields,
Ballfield State
ball
President.
season started Monday
Yep,
for everything, so by the time we done burying fields and mowing and it's busy, so we'll just play catch up the whole time, so.
thank you.
Is there anything we need to know about that missing hydrant now in the old trailer parks with the guys that backed into it?
What?
Yeah, I mean, you just explained that well to me, but as far as fire hydrants, the distances between them and whatnot.
Just for location of if we had full water, there's one, it'd be right off the Ash, there was a fire hydrant there. One of the two guys backed into it with the Packard. Busted it at the main or at the stem, so it was removed. But we have a fire hydrant, supposed to be like 400 feet up. So we have fire hydrants. Both in third and Lovely, second in both. We have hydrants and then up, down and out. So we put a fire department can pull from any of those. But it's just that, so,
Are we gonna replace it?
oh, because that's gonna be when we're doing both match, we're gonna
Got it,
change the main.
got it. Okay,
So they're not liable for any of the expense?
There's zero expense, they did it all.
There's zero expense.
They dug it up and
Stuco fixed it all.
Yeah.
Oh, they fixed it.
Well, the hydrant was probably 1940s hydrant, so it was.
But
so it's tough.
Should have knocked off a couple more.
Was that?
There been any discussion?
they're going to when they do the second.
Then it is souk up liable.
Yeah,
Because
Oh, I see. Yeah, so
Should
Soup Up
Soup
is
Up
gonna pay for the
absorb the expense?
replacement?
yeah, we can work that out with them. If,
Okay.
yeah, once we get to that point.
Okay,
There is.
yeah, don't forget them. Okay, finance officer. Taking notes.
we had a case of that somewhere else and it was obsolete, so then the fire hydrant was obsolete, so then the company paid a lot more to replace it with a newer model.
Got it. Sioux Falls Humane Society. Municipal code discussion. Penalties.
Can I ask that we, postpone
Sure.
for next time?
Dell's ambulance request.
Ambulance gets 5,000 a year, and they are asking for 10,000 next year. And he said he would gladly come to a meeting and discuss, their situation and so budget time will be coming up in August, so maybe we'll have them come to a meeting.
Have them come to the June meeting.
have they taken any increase in any recent time? I know generally there's and then we talked about the fire department in town, whatever contribution we give them. We hadn't done, an increase in, I don't even know how long, it was a long time. I don't know if we've done that with the Dells Fire.
I don't know. I can look and see how long we.
It just helps to justify that expense if we know we haven't increased
Yeah.
in 15 years like we did with the fire
Yeah.
departments.
Good point. Okay, city revenue update.
Oh. Okay, this came out, this is the bright green.
Okay.
Now, this came up, I think, last meeting, kind of like where is maybe by Travis.
It was.
So I researched it and found some notes of where these special funds, what was happening with these special funds. And there was a lot of money coming out of general fund every year and going into these capital projects. And we stopped that for this year in order to build up our general fund account, which was getting pretty low. And, I just think there was, I mean, it's really nice to have money going to these other funds. But there wasn't enough in the general fund budget to run the city. So then you were supplementing.
Right.
You know, they had like 30 or 40,000 for streets. And now we have 100 and some thousand, 140, 160 for streets. You know, so I guess I really didn't like that, but it is nice to have balances, maybe for the splash pad, for capital projects, or for the, ball park or the park or whatever you choose. But like all of Verizon went into capital, a fourth of sales tax went into capital projects. Camping revenue, third penny. Yeah, there was money that came out of streets. They could not afford that. That went into, capital projects. Streets is the last place you want to take money out of. Because it's always so desperately needed there. So this kind of, yeah, they put a lot of money into the capital projects. And while it's nice to have to start building, to build those funds, maybe not quite so much. You know, they scale it down a little, you know. That's my suggestion, because then we were supplementing because we were overspending, because there wasn't any budget. And so now this blue sheet shows you where we're at year to date. And on the general fund, we're ahead in our revenues. But we're doing pretty good.
You're kind of suggesting basically a revamp come budget time.
Yeah.
Based off the information we now have, kind of see what would be the best fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To try to get more money in general fund.
Excellent.
And then there is also, besides these balances here, there's also the South Dakota Fit money.
Right.
So there's another 97,000 in capital building and 191 in capital improvements. So there is money for a project, but you have to decide what you want, what's important, you know.
And these numbers would fall in suit with the capital improvement plan, park projects, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, they went through a lot of time and effort to build these up, so you want to be careful how you spend it.
Makes sense.
And, yeah, so anyways, we're doing okay. The water and sewer is a little behind on revenue, I think.
Not too bad.
Well,
Come up to
sprinkler
our
season is
big
coming.
user. Yeah, summer's coming, so. we can, The park fund, that is, they left that open for grants and donations. Well, donations don't happen. And so that's kind of a. Nothing happens. So the third penny brought in, 8,000 last year, but that goes to capital improvement.
Mhm.
Or it was, so we have to decide next year if we want to go back or not.
Okay. Linda, you've done a fantastic job
Oh,
of making sense of all of this.
yeah, I try to make it, so I can understand.
We like that. We need you to understand it.
It just kind of got Michelle and so they have been really good notes,
Good.
so that helped a lot.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
I forgot something.
Go ahead.
Everybody had, and it should be in the package, microcom.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pretty much rural water, they're having problems with what they have for their communications to the tower and all of it. Calls and levels and stuff, it's just outdated, it's probably been there 20, 30 years, they just, wired everything together just to keep making it work, so this is updating the systems. Doing it as, cheaply as possible. But this is kind of, rural water takes care of everything to monitoring, you know what I mean? Have to worry about it, they monitor everything, have the plans, control everything of when our pumps kick in, but it's really their pumps kick in. Gotta get benefits, so this is just one of the things that I update our system, because they're having problems. Because the water levels fluctuate, just because of the way what we have for technology now is not.
What is the cost of this, Ryan?
That's
Thank you. I don't see how we get around this, guys.
How fast do we need to do this?
I think they're just wanting this, sent over, that they wanna update the system, so.
So the end line, basically.
Yeah, just how everything, the communications, everything, how their transducer, it is old and they. Try to get everything worked for all these years and it's finally to the point where they said it's not working anymore, so.
But what about if and when we get the new water tower? Is this gonna transfer over? Or are we gonna be out that 10,000 for the new equipment?
If we build a new water tower, it's gonna be way different because we will probably end up in a pumping station and everything will come ours.
Okay.
Because then they will take that part of their plant offline and all take control of that.
Oh, okay.
So, because right now, in rural water, we get a very good deal with rural water because they have our pumps, they do the maintenance, they do everything. And there's 2 dedicated pumps just for Baltic.
Thank you, Ryan. What do we want to do with this, guys?
In your opinion, Ryan, this will be necessary to continue efficient use of the water tower?
Yeah, I mean, it's for their whole communication system. I mean, their SCADA controls everything, this ties into it. So when it fluctuates, it's hard to tell right now what's in our tower at certain.
Sure. But being said, I'll take Ryan's opinion, and make a motion to approve that expense. $10,642 to update the communications in our existing water tower.
I'll second. Hold on a second, I'm gonna make notes here. Nice. Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Let's get that taken care of. Okay. Linda, do we just want this to be more of a point of, information with the term timetable?
Yes. Yeah, like this went through and,
What an amazing job, by the way.
and, unfortunately. I had missed, oh, this is something for John. I had published the election as a 4-year term, and it was a 1-year term. And when I asked the state, they said to contact our city attorney.
So we'll have you research that and figure out how to do with it.
Sure.
I don't know.
You bet.
Okay. I think the thought pattern was is that 2 aldermen run in one election and then 2 aldermen run in the other election. And I cannot even tell you how much time it took Linda to do this. Because I tried to do it and tried to make sense of the minutes, and it was so all over the place and so unclear.
Mhm.
This is truly a feat of sorcery. I don't know how you do
Wizard.
it. Seriously.
Wizard.
Wizardry.
Which the hardest part was the minutes never stated that there was, who ran or if they were, you know, I mean, they normally did not state what was going on.
Mhm.
So then it was like,
Yeah, it just said someone, so-and-so was sworn in and then they never said what it was, what the word 1 was, a word 2, was it,
yeah,
you know, it was astonishing.
yeah.
So thank you for this.
Sure.
So John, you have an action item on this one.
Okay.
Okay. And then, engineering update, best for last, Justin.
Okay, the first time we'll come to that, most of the stuff is contained
Yep.
in the engineer's report.
Yep.
Review that, let me know if you have any questions, just a couple quick hitters, water main project that we talked about a while. I gave Brian a set of 100% plans to review, he had some minor comments on that. We're gonna go ahead, get those sent to Damer for permit review, that's a 30-day process. Next meeting, that's an agenda item, did that project. We'll bid that this summer, try to get it constructed this fall.
That's awesome.
Ultimately, utility improvements, they got a schedule right there for
Mhm.
design timeline. We're still hitting that. Main lift station improvements, we're working through the plans on that as well. We hit on Parks Master Plan, Sidewalk Master Plan, and then capital improvement planning. We will have a kickoff meeting on that, but for everybody's general awareness, there's a pretty decent schedule on there. It's 5 weeks. Once we get dates set, we'll include that in.
So there you go, Deb. It's on the back of this one. You want an extra one for Todd?
That's title, and I can provide them.
We get that too.
Email as well.
It's on the back, just for more information.
I guess I'm gonna go off of Open Ash. I know I've talked to Justin and you guys, fire hydrant that I was talking to Travis. With right now, we're trying to locate that main, because right now there's a water main that goes right through that old trailer park.
Mhm.
So we're trying to figure out, and I think Justin's gonna work on seeing if we can go down Third Street, tie in the Third on the other side of Lovely, but a lot of it will depend on funding, and our water account isn't very healthy. That's where the money is coming from,
Mhm.
because that wasn't put on the scope of the original project for the funding. So, but that is a huge thing. I mean, that land right now is not the best thing right now. That water main goes right through it, so.
Right. It
Just-
creates
just-
complications for everybody.
Serviceable now with nothing on it, but if anything gets built on it, that just makes
Becomes
it
a-
way more complex. If
Yeah.
they're-
So it's just,
It's old too, I'm pretty sure, right?
yeah, yeah,
Old,
it's been there a long time.
So-
So, but it's just, yeah, to let everybody else know that, what was discussed and what we're kind of looking at, so.
it's important. Anything else? Great job. Thank you.
That's what it's there. Any further questions?
Try to get us a 50% off coupon for that splash truck.
Buy one, get one free.
If you can do that.
We can do that on the basketball court, so we're perfect.
Yeah.
Or we get a punch card or something.
Yeah, punch card. Any updates from council?
Do we still hold this?
We didn't need it because we're still doing,
Okay.
we're still doing announcements. So. Anything from the council for updates, other than coffee with council? This Saturday from 9 to 11 at City Hall. It's going to be home baked goods. It's gonna be really, really good. You don't want to miss out. We got some good bakers.
I can bake, but as long as Deb doesn't bake up.
I'm not baking. I am not baking.
That's.
Okay. Is there anything else? All right, hit me.
I'm assuming we don't need executive session at this point.
Do we?
I don't, we do not for me, I have no time to
Right,
put together the revised contract that Deborah and I were supposed to work on it, just haven't had time, so.
Yep.
My thought is just continue as is, and then maybe next meeting we can revisit that.
definitely.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Travis is the first.
Second at 9:45.
Ryan, 9:45, all those in favor? Any opposed? Good night, Baltic.
I called you this week, those two